What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to be continuing to show you how to make a FNAF world. This is part 3, and in this one, we're going to be finishing off Fazbear Hills and Choppy's Woods. The only thing is these armor stands we do not do. We will do all of them at the end, just because there's a lot of characters. Except for I think we're going to leave, or do it before Halloween update, or whatever, because, yeah. Also, one thing that I forgot to mention at the beginning of this, we're not doing the gap thing for like this entire part at all because we're doing the buildings. So when I am telling you to, for example, place a block to the right, you're not leaving the gaps like we would have been in the previous parts. You'll see how that'll go. But yeah, because the buildings are solid buildings. But anyway, that's all. So that being said, enjoy the tutorial and I will catch you on the flip side. Alright, so we're going to start with doing some of the buildings, and I want to do the windmill first since there's two of them. We're going to do basically the buildings that are or have like variants at the same time. So you want to start by getting at the following for the windmill. I already forgot. Is that dark oak or spruce? I can't block pick it. I think it's spruce. Right? I'm going to say dark oak wood. I'm going with that. Stripped oak wood. Dark oak slabs, just a brilliant start, honestly. Dark oak stairs. Creaking hearts? Don't ask a question. Where are they? Here they are. Diorite walls, and you will need structure voids again, which we should have used for something, I think. Oh yeah, where? That. I just remembered Chipper. That's cool. We'll get them after the windmills. So they are fairly obviously marked. If you find this smiley face of trees, actually, there's gonna be one sitting in here. So kind of in these two corners, you're gonna place extending up what, 2 or 3 dark oak wood in each of those two corners, with a row of stripped oak wood in the middle. The other one will be positioned. I think it's this kind of cluster here. Yeah, let me confirm that though. Yes. It's very weird diagonal. You kind of have the same corners, actually. You can just place the dark oak wood in with the stripped oak in the middle, like so. You'll then extend the dark oak on these sides back with stripped oak row, and then dark oak row. And then connect the dark oak at the back with another row of stripped oak, which will give you a kind of 3x3. It'll actually give you a cube. It doesn't feel like a cube because it's hollow, but it's a cube. A hollow cube. Wouldn't that just be a cylinder, actually? Well, no, because the cylinder is circular. And this isn't circular. Anyway, that's not really important. Extend each of those blocks just up with 4 stripped oak wood. Doesn't matter what they are, they're being brought up with more stripped oak. Hopefully everyone is having a good day or night. I am having quite an interesting day for sure. And now there's background noise. That's good. Had to pick a great time right as I'm starting. Oh well. The bottom 4 row stripped oak wood you'll wrap in dark oak slabs, which would be just like the 4th row. Actually, the middle row, technically. Because you would have 3 above that in total, and then the 3 striped rows below. Like so. On the top of the stripped oak here, at the very top, you're going to place dark oak stairs kind of wrapping around to give you a roof. And then you can just kind of place a dark oak plank in the middle out of slabs with another slab on top, which will give you that. No sense getting out dark oak planks for 2 whole blocks, because that's all we need it for. You don't even need to use a dark oak plank technically, because you can't see it. So off of the, is it the top one? Yeah, it's the top front stripped oak wood here, the center one as well. You're placing a creaking heart on it that just faces forward. I think this is a really good windmill texture. I don't know. Extend that in each direction with 2 diorite walls, which is going to be every direction, but the way that I just placed that one forward, you do not want any in front. Because, yeah. Like so. And then you can pretty much wrap those walls in structure voids. You only need them on the sides and tops of every single one. And it should, once you're, okay, it should, once you're done, give you that, kind of. Cool, that's a windmill. And again, you should have been doing both. If not, you can just go back and rewatch that part if you need it again. That's my recommendation. Since it was fairly slow, since I am, you know, building double the trouble. You can clear inventory, sure, why not? And let's build that little chipper guy, because I'm going to forget if we don't. Do we have the rock? We do. Okay, so get out stripped jungle wood, polished blackstone button, tripwire hooks, and a dark oak slab. And it's gonna be where you have this kind of glitchy, I'm gonna call it glitchy trees here. Just to the right of the back row, you'll leave that gap of 1 and place a stripped jungle wood. Polished blackstone button on the front, tripwire hook either side with the dark oak slab on top. Hopefully I'll remember to mention this in the intro, but we're not really leaving gaps in this part, since I didn't remember to mention it until now. But yeah, so just kind of keep that in mind as you're going about that. These are full buildings, so they're not going to be sliced like cheese, I guess. Yeah, from this point you can get out the following, though. Blue terracotta. This have to be difficult, doesn't it? White wool. Oak wood, that's the difficult part for some reason. Crimson stairs. Crimson slabs. And then you would also want mangrove stairs and mangrove slabs. We'll still need 2, or we'll still have 2 slots. What do we get out with these? Stone brick walls and diorite walls, maybe? Sure. So we're going to be doing 2 simultaneously. I just forgot a material, whatever. We won't need the blue for very long. It should be this kind of region here, I think, right? Yes. So if you take the... Where are we going to start here? Those funny trees, the glitch ones. You want to take this furthest right one of these rows and just extend forward with 3 white wool. You would then extend left with a red terracotta, but we don't have that, so we're just going to leave a gap of 1 and place another white wool. Then you would... Why is this like this? Head a little bit forward to, is it this tree? Yes, this lone tree a little bit in front and to the left. Leave a gap of 2 going left, place a white wool, blue terracotta, white wool, back diagonally left with an oak wood facing up, left with an oak wood, back diagonally left by 2 with white wool, and then you would end up taking the starting block from this row, this wool, extend it back, and then you can go back diagonally right with a stone brick. You can get rid of the blue terracotta for that and place it here. Both in front of and behind that, you'll have diorite walls, and that back diorite wall, you'll just connect left with white wool, which will give you a oddly triangular trapezoid-ish shape, like that. These aren't as similar as I thought, apparently. I thought they were, like, exactly the same, but they're not. Why is there stripped oak wood there? You can't even see that. Why? Oh, no, yes, you can. Okay. Moving on. You can get rid of the mangrove stairs and slabs because we're not actually going to use them yet. And get out dark oak stairs and... I guess stripped oak wood. Why not? Since I just mentioned that. Bring this front row of 3 up with a row of white wool. Then a row of upside down dark oak stairs facing forward. You'll probably need to do some placeholders for that. And then 2 more rows of white wool. The side white wools you'll bring up with crimson slabs, and then you'll smack a plank in the middle. You will bring the full row, excluding the crimson, back on the right with white wool. And do I want to bring back on the left? Sure, why not? No sense not. You then want to bring the crimson back by 3 for now. I think we're going to immediately break a block. I'm drifting on my controller. That's good. They're going to break immediately a block. Yeah, this back left slab you'll break and replace with a stripped oak wood facing sideways. White wool on top. Crimson stair facing forward on top of that. The diorite, well, first off, actually, the stone brick, you will extend up with 5 white wool. Crimson plank. You can then actually get rid of the stripped oak wood and get out crimson fence and place 2 fence on top. That's not a fence. There we go. The diorite wall on either side of this now we can bring up with 3 walls and then a crimson stair that should face away from the white wool there. Just like so. You then want to take the oak here on the left and bring it up with a row of white wool. Crimson stair on the left one facing left, and then an oak wood on the right one facing up with a crimson slab on top. Behind that slab, you'll place a stone brick with another one on top, then a crimson plank, then a fence. You want to Take this diagonal white wool and extend it up by 2, and then right 1. Crimson stairs on top of that facing forward, with ones behind that facing back that'll extend 1 kind of right, like so. We should have kind of a flat back. The only, I guess, exception is this far left white wool here. You'll bring up with 1 white and then a crimson stair facing left, but you want to kind of just fill in the back with white wool flat. If you leave the blocks open where the trees are, it's fine. It won't make a difference. I'm not going to, but I mean, if it happens, it happens. Cool. Is there 1 more spire or 2? 1. You want to take out of this back row of 3 stairs we just placed, break the middle one, and extend up in its place 3 stone brick walls, white wool, crimson plank, and then 2 fences. Is that all of the detailing excluding the buttons? And there's some trapdoors. Yes. So I think what I can do, or what you can do, get rid of your oak wood, crimson stairs and slabs, your stone bricks, your crimson fence, and that should be it. And get out red terracotta, yippee. Mangrove slabs, mangrove stairs, mangrove fence, dark oak plank, and that is actually all. Cool. So this little line that we made on the right here, which is the first building we were going to make before I decided against it, you want to place a red terracotta between these 2 whites on the front, if you didn't already. Left of that, you can actually get rid of the red immediately and get out stripped pale oak wood and place one there facing up, with a dark oak plank on top. Then 3 stone brick walls, white wool, mangrove plank, and then 2 fences. You will then take this front row in total and place a row of white wool on top of these right 3 blocks. Why is that why is the wool glowing, actually? Place a row of upside down dark oak stairs on top of that wool row, and then it's kind of the same thing you did over there. 2 rows of white wool on top, mangrove plank on the center wool with a slab either side. And then you would bring the full roof on this one back by 2. And you can also bring the wool back, I guess, on the one side. That is good idea. And then you can actually break this back right slab, replace it with another wool, extend that wool up 1, up with a mangrove plank, and then up with 2 fence. We're not quite there, but we almost are. You will take the white wool just to the left of this red terracotta, place a diorite wall in front of it that extends up by 1, and then up with a mangrove slab. You then want to, from this bottom row, go back diagonally left with 3 white wool extending up. Place 1 to the right of that top block with a row of mangrove stairs on top facing forward, and then behind that another row facing back that will kind of be floating. We can fix that by just actually bringing this kind of bottom, this is really tight, this white wool back 1, connecting it across to the right, and just bringing this whole back up the same way we did with the last one until you hit roofs. And I'm going to place some blocks here as well on the left, just to kind of seal that up. Then from this side on the like kind of back row on the left, you'll bring these bottom 2 white wools up with diorite walls. The top one will connect to the tree. If you want to remove the tree so it doesn't, I think it might look a little better, but that's personal preference. I didn't care that much. But you really, it's not something you would notice, and that tree doesn't actually do anything as far as blocking is concerned. Okay, those are those 2 buildings done. There's actually a third of the like, but I don't feel like dealing with it right now, so we're going to clear our inventory and we'll deal with that in a sec. Get out the following. You want spruce trapdoors and pale oak trapdoors. And then you want the following buttons. You want warped, stone, polished blackstone, and crimson. So, this is going to be weird. On the top of either one, you want to take this top center plank from the kind of main roof and place a warp button over it. The white wool below this full 3x2, you'll place stone buttons off of, still on both. And then on the right one here with the red, you're going to place a warp button on this kind of bottom right wall and stone buttons on these top two for the lowest section. On the other one, you'll have a spruce trapdoor open against the white on either side of the blue with a pale oak trapdoor open above that. These are, I think there's pillars that are sticking in front here. I don't remember, but it was not really a lot of space for me to deal with. And I didn't want to bring it any more forward because it would block this kind of path too much. On the crimson one, we'll finish off the buttons here. The section to the left of the main one, you'll have a warp button off this top oak wood with stone buttons off the whites. The section left of that, this bottom white wall, you'll place a polished black stone button on with 2 stones above. Off each side of this top stone brick of this kind of pillar, you'll place stone buttons, at least that you can. And then pretty much on the top of each of these spires, you want to surround them with stone buttons. That's really only the left one and the right one, though. This middle one where the stripped oak wood is below, and also you won't be able to place the buttons on all sides sometimes, just kind of ignore that. This one you're placing a crimson button off of, like so. The other one is honestly not difficult at all from this point. If you take this little left section, you'll place a warp button off the bottom, stone above, polished black stone above, and then you're wrapping both spires with stone buttons to the extent that you can on the top white wall. Cool, that's those buildings done. If you're doing barriers as you're going along, just kind of barrier between these. I'll talk about that more so later, but you can technically do it as you go. Just a couple minor things that I will need to touch up with when we get there. But, you know, do whatever you so choose. You can clear your inventory, and let's do the other building that is like these. Get out the following. White wool. Oh, brother, there's going to be some fun ones here. Orange terracotta. This one shouldn't be too bad, though. Dark oak. Stairs. I think there's 2 left after this. Acacia stairs. Acacia planks. We don't need slabs here. I don't believe it. Although we do need birch slabs, so grab those. Diorite walls. That was the important one. Acacia signs and acacia fence. Definitely going to be missing something for real, but it's fine. This one is like way back here. It's next to this back mine. You kind of have a pretty obvious section where a building should go. I'll give you a hint. It's this one right here to the right of the mine. If you take these double trees or the double set of trees, you're going to go right from the bottom one with a white wool. Bring that white wool back diagonally right by 1. Actually by 2. I changed my mind. I was going to place the signs now, but too bad. Right of that an orange. Right of that a white wool. You can then extend right with another white wool that you'll bring forward by 2 and back 1. You would then kind of just connect this back right one to the front left, so you can bring it left by, I guess, 5 it would be, and then forward 2. Cool. You want to, again, this kind of center 3, you're going to do the same thing with as we've done like a million times. So this one's actually a little different. You'll start with the row of white wool on top. That is the same. On top of that, you'll have a row of upside down dark oak stairs, but you want a plank on the far right. I'm going to do something stupid here, and you can follow along if you would like. You can just place a dark oak stair facing back. It won't make a difference. You won't see the difference, so... Because you'll place a row of white wool on top, and then there will be wool behind that and stuff to the right. The center wool you'll bring up by 2, and then on the top wools here, you'll place acacia stairs facing forward. That's an interesting shape that I didn't pick up on until right now, but I picked up on it, so. The right row of white wool, this row of 4, you'll bring up with a row of white wool, and then a row of acacia stairs facing right. That stair still is not affecting this. You want to, from that point, take the this singular block here on the left. Before the like end row, you'll bring it up with 2 wool. Acacia stair facing forward. You'll then go back with a plank and back with a stair facing back. And while we're back here, I'm actually going to bring this, at least the, if I'm looking at it, it'll be the left stair I'll bring back with a stair facing back, and then I'll place a stair right of it. And then behind this one, I'll place a diorite wall that I'll bring up with 2 diorite walls, a white wool, acacia plank, and then 2 acacia fence. The like left side here, this row of 4, you'll bring up with a row of white wool, then a row of acacia stairs facing left. Take not the backmost stair, but one in front. Break it. I'm gonna bring this plank right of it down with a wool, just because that'll actually seal that off too. I didn't realize that was a gap. But you will... Why are you not there? Whatever. You'll go up with 3 diorite walls, white wool, acacia plank, and then 2 fence. Kind of in the front center, I'll take this right row and almost like this right angle, and you'll extend up with 5 diorite walls, white wool, acacia plank, and then 2 fence. Did we? We did not, I don't think. Yeah, fill in the back with white wool, so just bring all the wools up, same way we have a bunch of times already. Starting from the leftmost row, I kind of want to go across mainly the bottom. The first 2 bottom white wools here, going from the left to the right, you'll place acacia signs off the front of. This one here, the second one, you'll above it place an opposite on birch slab in front of this wool, and then above that another sign off that one. You will have a sign on the bottom on the far right here, this white wool, and then you would have one on the funny shape at the top here, this white wool between the 2 stairs. Which will give you this. You can clear your inventory and get out the 3 buttons that we would mainly need here, which are stone, polished black stone, and warped. On the kind of bottom section here, where the orange, what will be the doorway is, on the top left block, you'll place a warp button here. Polished black stone buttons on the other 2. The area above this thin row, you'll have stone buttons on these 2 blocks, the left 2, which are the only 2 you can place on. And then each of these top white wools for the kind of spires does not include this one here. You'll wrap them in stone buttons. I think you can wrap each of these fully, which is quite nice. Yeah. Cool, that's another building. We have 2 left or 3? There might be a 3rd that I'm forgetting about. There is no... Oh, there's those, though. Okay, yeah, we do have to do those. And I might actually end up doing the characters just for fun, because then we can just avoid getting to dusting fields at any point in this, and we can have all the armor stands in. I was thinking about waiting for those. I might still, actually. I probably will. Get out the following. Netherrack? Birchwood. It would be easier to just do all the armor stands at once, I think. Flower pots. Oh, we gotta do those. I forgot about that. Redstone repeaters. I'll remember, don't worry. Spruce slabs. Oak slabs. Oak fence gates. Oak fence. And a warped button, I'm gonna say for now. It is to the right a little bit. What is it? This stair is going to be our mark? Yes, actually, I'm going to use this kind of backwards Y of trees here. It's to the right of these 2 buildings that are like right next to each other. You will take the frontmost tree and leave a gap of 1 going right of it and place a sideways birch wood. Right of that a netherrack and then another birch wood facing sideways. And extend the birch wood up another row. Or I guess the whole thing up with another row of birchwood. And then place a warp button on either top corner to give you a face. Because why wouldn't it give you a face? Flower pot in front of the bottom left birchwood. Redstone repeater that would have the signal going to the right. If there was a signal underneath the right one, like so. Spruce slab on the side birchwoods with a plank in the middle. And then you would... I'm just going to say back this with another full, like 3 rows of birchwood up that are 1 wider on the sides than this. So it's basically a 5x3 that we're filling in here. Just like so. You will, on the next row, go alternating between sideways birchwood and netherrack, like so. Repeat that. And then repeat it again, but use spruce planks instead of netherrack. The center 3 blocks you'll bring up with sideways birch wood. And then the center birch wood from there you'll bring forward with an oak fence gate that's kind of sticking directly out like so. I'll place a spruce slab on top of that fence gate and ones opposite on ones either side of it, like so. I'll then take these side birch woods and place spruce slabs on top of them that I bring forward. And I'll go off the sides of these same ones with opposite on slabs that I also bring forward. You can bring the whole like birch back with another row of birch wood. Basically just like the whole building back with more sideways birch wood. And you can bring the roof back so it's 3 layers thick. Kind of. Now I say kind of, technically it just is. But because of the fashion of this, and I don't want the roof overhanging, bring these slabs back, essentially. So you'll have really these kind of 5, and then these 2 you would just place opposite on slabs behind these birch woods. And I'll place a sideways birch wood here. It'll leave you with these kind of goofy gaps. You can either, you know, do that, or you can just leave them. I actually left them because, frankly, you're not really gonna... I mean, you might be able to see it. You can maybe do planks. But it's not something that I really think is a huge deal to concern yourself with. Heading back to the front, you want to, off of this first row where the netherrack comes in, you want to place a row of oak slabs. Extend the center 3 forward. And you can get rid of... What can we get rid of? That's a great question. The warped buttons and get out oak stairs. And on the left side here, kind of in this gap where the trees are, you're going to place an opposite on oak stair facing left with a regular one on top. You don't have to do this if you don't want. You can barely see it, but you can. So, if you're ever, like, wondering, just kind of fly up and look straight down and be like, okay, how does it look? You know, how does this make sense? That is very obvious. Although, on the right birch wood that's visible here, you're placing an oak slab. And you're replacing the spruce stair or slab to the right of it with an oak stair that faces right. And then the other one, I think you can get rid of your birch wood and netherrack for this and get out quartz, bricks, and for not this step, dark oak trapdoors. You do need them. You will bring this birch wood up with 2 quartz bricks. You also need an iron chain, so I'm just going to immediately get rid of the quartz bricks. And on the left side, I'm going to take the back row of birch wood, the top one you can place off of, and place an oak fence gate kind of coming out like so. You can crouch and place left of that an oak fence. With an iron chain underneath that and a dark oak trapdoor, kind of on the top half of the next block. This looks like a little pulley or something. I don't really know. There is one more building, and then we're going to do the little locks. Those are so annoying, but you'll see why later. I made them function, which is going to be real annoying to make. But clear your inventory anyway, and get out the following. Yippee, another directional block. Stripped pale oak wood. Stripped oak wood, make that 2. Oh, stripped mangrove wood, make that 3, but that's used once, so it's fine. Birch slabs. Mangrove slabs, mangrove stairs, mangrove trap doors, oak stairs, oak trap doors, and we'll leave it at that for now. So, it's kind of forward and left from that one. It's this, really the only open area we have left. It would be this row of 4 trees at the back, or will be at the back of it. Kind of, I guess it's not perfectly. I'm going to use the trees to the right of this, though. It'll be this one if I just, from this furthest right tree, count forward diagonally right. I will leave a gap of 2 extending left and place going across from that one 5 stripped pale oak wood facing left. I will extend that row forward and extend really both rows up with another row. You can kind of just, as you place these, place one like side and build it across, and then just replace the first block with more sideways ones. It's annoying, but it is what it is. You will then, on top of the like dead center on the front, you'll place a stripped mangrove wood facing up. Extended in either direction with 3 stripped oak wood that is facing sideways. And then you'll bring that up with another full row of stripped oak wood facing sideways. I will bring all the stripped oak, including the mangrove, back with more sideways stripped oak. Oh, this is so annoying to place. Directional blocks suck. And then you will place on the front right stripped oak wood and oak stair facing right with a mangrove slab behind it, and pretty much the inverse on the other side. You'll have an oak stair on the back facing left with a mangrove slab in front. Extend whatever the front more block is forward with a mangrove slab, and then the full row you can bring out with a row of mangrove slabs as well. Connect in the center, kind of just like, if I take the oak stair on either side, I'll just bring it across with stripped pale oak wood that is sideways. And then off of the top corners of those, I'll place upside down mangrove slabs like so. The left side, I'll place oak trap doors on top of this left row of stripped pale oak. The right side, the back one, I will do absolutely nothing with, and the front one, I'll place an oak stair on top of facing right. I will then bring the oak stair on the right in with an oak plank. Can we get rid of the oak stairs? Yes. Get rid of the oak stairs and get out an oak plank. And place one just to the left of this stair. And from the trapdoor in the same position, on the other side, I'll go in with an oak stair facing left. Of course. Just get rid of the planks again and get back out the stairs. My bad. Bring either of those forward with a mangrove stair facing in. And I'm going to also bring this oak plank back with a stair facing right, but I'm not going to place one here, because you'll see, there's a chimney there. I will connect, or I guess I'll just pick this kind of right row and bring this mangrove stair at the back and the oak plank in front of it, each left with a stripped pale oak wood facing up on either one. Upside down mangrove slab in front of that. And then you can get rid of your oak trap doors and get out a bell. And on top of this slab, place a bell. On top of that, you can crouch and place a mangrove stair facing forward. And on the left and right sides of the bell, you'll place mangrove trapdoors open against it. You can use shelves if you like. They weren't out when I made this, though, so you can kind of see where my issue lies. You can then get rid of the bell immediately and get out stone brick slabs, and this is the last like major just one change we need to do. Behind this oak stair on the left, you will go up from this pale oak with 2 stone brick blocks and then a slab. Cool. On the front, you want to take the very dead center, and it'll be this strip pale oak wood just above the oak. You'll place a mangrove slab off of. Down diagonally, both left and right of that, you'll have upside down slabs off those stripped oaks. Off of this top strip pale oak wood row from the bottom section of it, you'll place a full row of upside down birch slabs in front, and then extend the middle 3 forward again. You will then place birch slab rows off these sides of the stripped oak here. Clear your inventory, and to finish this building, get out stone buttons, warped signs, item frames, and a clock. I think I'm also going to get out the stuff for the next step, though. You need stone, polished blackstone walls, whoopsies, polished blackstone stairs, and you would need yellow glazed terracotta. This step is going to be annoying, but we're gonna copy this as well. You'll see what I mean when we get there. Directly above the strip mangrove on the front of this, you'll place an item frame with a clock in it. Off of the sides of these slabs, I'll kind of place warp signs. It's on the stripped oak, but it's just outside of either one. And then on the front, I'll take the outermost row of both the stripped oak and stripped pale oak and place stone buttons off of them. It'll be both rows of the oak, and it'll just be the bottom of that bottom pale oak. That is all of the buildings done. Congrats. We got a couple things to do, and one of these... do I want to do that like a show and tell? I think I do. You'll see why, because it's... I don't feel like doing it. So at the right side here, we're going to actually mark both these at the same time. It is this command block with the bamboo pressure plate on top. if you can find it. It's right here, this guy. You should have 2 trees to the left of it. You'll take the leftmost tree and kind of just break 3 grass behind it and replace it with stone. I'll place another row of stone in the floor left and right of it. And then I want to do the same thing if I head kind of back and right. It's between these 2 trees that are 3 blocks apart. This time we'd be going left to right, though. So yeah, I guess you would just invert the numbers. But it's where this windmill is, a little bit in front of it. The thinner windmills, not the, like, building ones. Not the farm-looking ones. You'll replace the row between them with stone and extend that forward and backward by 1. Cool. Yellow glazed terracotta in the dead center. Polished black stone stair off each side of that that'll face kind of away from it. And then you'll place polished black stone walls on each corner. Not perfect, but especially from above, it looks pretty solid. I would advise copying this outside of the boundaries of the map. I'm just going to go back here, and again, you'll lay out that 3x3 of stone. Yellow glazed terracotta in the middle. Stair on each, I guess, center block, and then walls in the corner. It might not be a bad idea to elevate this. Essentially, and we're actually going to do another one here. If you kind of just leave a gap, you want to make a 2x2 of stone instead. On the back right one, you'll have a yellow glazed terracotta. Wall on the front left corner, and then stairs off the front and left of the glazed. This essentially is because we'll have... I do love words a lot. We'll have to we'll have to structure save these so we can load them and remove them, basically. You'll see. It's a bit odd, but it does work, in fact. So, this next part I'm going to show more than I'm going to tell. I do apologize. I know you guys probably sometimes hate that, but it's more so because I kind of looked at the map and said, okay, here's where they go. But you can see I have, why did the locator bar take a minute? That was weird. Unless I'm stupid and it didn't. Ignore this. You don't want to worry about this. I will explain this because you do need to make sure that you will make something like this, because if you don't, you're going to get stuck in the camera command, and you don't want that. But essentially, you can see kind of, I'll just show you the areas. We'll have these flower petals, or I guess what are they, wildflowers? Going around, and you can, again, make out exactly where it is. If you take the kind of front left corner, you would trace a little bit back, and almost just to the left of this red chest, that's directly in line with that. That's crazy. You would start here, and you would kind of go back through this area, and you'd go a little bit right, and then you would turn in where the red little circus tent is, and then you'd have a bunch back by Scott. You'd have some going right through this part of the circus, and then that'd be the end of that one, I guess. And then you'd have some between these, or not between them, but in front of these buildings, which would go around in front of this birch one. You'd have some a little bit more in front here. You'd have a bunch in the main area. You can also look, you can look up FNAF World Fazbear Hills map, and you can kind of see where these are placed exactly. I'm kind of just showing you, but basically it's just one. Well, it's normally, okay, no, that'd be one, wouldn't it? Yeah. 1, what is that, 2, I probably have a 3 somewhere. There's a 4. I can't find a 3. Maybe it doesn't exist, but you kind of get the point, just around. And then you got a bunch going through here, the front side. And I think that's all of them. But actually, you can see all of it from there, yeah. Just zoom in. And then for the front here, for Choppy's Woods, it's really just going through this main pathway. It's just a bunch of ferns. That is it. Just ferns. But then once you've done that, that is both Fazbear Hills and Choppy's Woods entirely complete. We're a little short, but I am still going to end it. So next part, we're going to do dusting fields. Honestly, it might just be the entirety of it. It's not a big area, so we should be able to finish it, I would think. Maybe Ferris wheel won't get finished, but we'll see. And then again, part after that, we will be doing Lily Gear Lake. So, yeah, get ready for that, I guess. That should be fun. But anyway, Once you've done that, ladies and gentlemen, that is FNAF World Part 3 complete. Honestly, yeah, looking at it now, like, this is not going to be a long tutorial. We'll have... Oh, we just won't have that much, really. Some areas will not be fun, though. I don't think dusting fields will be particularly fun because of the amount of signs. But again, remember the thing with the structure block. If you would like to use that again, you can. I think I might, actually. I'm not sure. I'll think about it. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, have a fantastic rest of your day or night, and I will see you on the next one. Oh, I knew it too. I was just like not paying attention. Oh my goodness, I missed. Peace.